G'day guys, Dom here. So this week has been very productive. Not just the knives on the table, but also some other stuff as far as the business goes. Relationships, let's just say, with some other companies, as well as a lot of new gear. Moving forward, pushing hard, starting to plan out 2020, so that's going to be coming up. Yeah, basically starting to plan for the next year. But I do have a lot of knives here at the table. Now, the last time I did this video, it took me like 20 minutes. It was an unwatchable, essentially. We're going to try and blow through this pretty quickly. So if there's anything you want more information about, email me, DM me, whatever. First up, we have a friction folder. So this is the Slender friction folder. I've discontinued these. I'm going to be making a few more friction folders just because I have parts. But after that, it's pretty much done. So there's one more of these Slender friction folders coming. It's going to be done this weekend. And after that, we are pretty much finished as far as friction folders goes. Essentially, I just want to focus on frame locks, liner locks, all that sort of cool stuff. The stuff that at the moment is really challenges me, because there's not a lot of people that do liner locks in this country, and it's just fun, it's challenging, it's something I really enjoy. I may do friction folders again in the future, but I don't have any plans for it right now, and I really want to focus on friction folders, which is why, line locks, sorry, which is why I've basically stopped making these things. But this one's really cool, 007, sort of a send-off. The last few are going to be special to kind of, you know, say goodbye to the friction folders I've made over the years. Carbon fiber handles, you've got the G10 backspacer in there. The pivot pin has been sort of, I don't know how you call it, but essentially peaked, or kind of, I made it to kind of look like a stud on a jacket or something, like a leather jacket, and polished it. Pivot on the other side is also polished, hardware speed blasted, and the blade is a belt finish satin, like a big hollow grind there, just because it reflects light nicely. It's just kind of cool. And then we've got the, you know, the graffiti pattern on the flats, just because it's a nice way to kind of incorporate my logo into the design of the knife. Next up, we have Moribus 007. So this is sort of a balls to the wall sort of fancy Moribus knife. I've added my logo pattern throughout the whole blade, just because it's kind of different, it's kind of cool, kind of fun throughout the whole blade. Some people might hate it, some people might love it. It's just sort of it's a very polarizing knife. The handles on this thing are carbon fiber, solid carbon fiber. And I've sort of done a mixture of contoured and faceted handle on this one. So I first contoured it, so it's sort of rounded, and then I've gone in afterwards and I've added these big chamfers or facets or whatever as well, which gives you a lot of really cool geometric shapes in different, you know, when you hold it differently. Like you got this shape here when you look at it a certain way, you've got this sort of a triangle here, and it's still a really comfortable knife. And this knife is also shadow boxed the whole way around, so that means I've made the handle slightly smaller than the actual knife, and that lets me bring this logo pattern all the whole way around the knife, and it makes it look more continuous and more uniform. Very comfortable knife. It's held in by two T15 bolts, and then it's also got custom washers underneath it where I've kind of flamed them and distressed them to kind of match the logos on the blade. Good solid click, solid sheath, all nicely rounded and polished, and as you can expect. Next up, Moribus 009, 008's already at the door. This is actually a custom order. A guy's ordered a Brute from me a while ago, and he wanted a Moribus to match. So, Asus Stonewash blade, jumbo logo. The handles are Cams Micarta. We've got Cams Micarta pins as well, except in natural micarta instead of black. Very comfortable knife, and this thing is just solid. I've started bringing up my, essentially this area up a little bit, and that makes it look a little bit more mean, makes the handle look a bit bigger and more of a tough using tool. Infernums. So the original version of the Infernum had no handles, and I had a lot of guys who liked the Infernum, but they also wanted to handle the knife, and they wanted to be more, you know, EDC, not EDC, sorry, camping sort of outdoor knife. So I've introduced the V2 Infernums. They're going to be numbered the same as the V1 Infernums, it's just I now make Infernums with handles. So I'm not going to be discontinuing the other ones without handles because they were also popular, but I'll be offering these as well. I've got 4 done here, and the other 4 have all been glued up, and I'm hoping to sort of get them done over the Saturday and Sunday, as well as another friction folder. We'll start off with 008. I've been trying for years to get a really cool fit, to replicate a really cool finish I did back in about 2015. It's essentially JG10 with a black liner, and when I first did it, it came out perfect and crisp and no issues. Ever since then I haven't been able to repeat it, so this was another attempt. Unfortunately the color's kind of splotchy, so I ended up, you know, finishing it up and selling it off at a discounted rate. It is sold, and it's also marked as blame, just to kind of show that it's not, you know, up to snuff for my regular work. But it's still very much a usable knife. JG10 blasted, belt finish satin, sold little knife. I've also got another one, which is also sold. This is number 10. This was actually the quickest selling knife I've ever had. I literally finished it up, put it on the website, and I sold it before I even had a chance to actually post about this on Facebook. So whoever bought this was like fucking sitting there ready to just kind of buy it as soon as I put it up. I mean, it went out probably within 30 minutes of me listing for sale. We've got a compound grind on this thing. So hollow grind bevel here, flat grind tip, and then flat grind swedge. Chisel grind. On the back we've got the canted logo, jumbo, and then it's all nicely rounded and very tactile and smooth. And tactile up here, essentially. I've sandblasted the tops of it, and that gives you sort of a grip up here for like a pinch grip and cutting all that sort of stuff. Next up we have these two, which are very similar to each other, number 11 and number 9. These both have OD green Campbell's micarta, and what I've done with pretty much all of these Infernos, I've actually polished the handles on them to about 1200 and then buffed them, and that gives you that really nice sort of a slick feel on the micarta. Very warm feeling, if that makes sense. And then it also has that, you can kind of see the structure of the micarta better, which is something I really like about micarta and why I'm using it more recently. But I've also combined that, like I mentioned before, with the sandblasted texture. So if you look around the edges on this thing, this is all sandblasted. So you've got like a millimeter on either side of the steel that's sandblasted and very grippy and tactile. And the front of it's also sandblasted. Because a knife like this, I figured use a lot in a pinch grip, where you'd you know, kind of hold it up here and you can kind of cut and you know, skin an animal, open a fish up, whatever you need, and you've got plenty of grip right where you need it up at that pinch grip up there. The handles are satin. The blade, sorry, is satin finished, two-toned acid stone washed, rounded spine as well, so it's nice and comfortable for a lot of hard use. D2 steel in these guys as well. Kind of have a lot of it, so I'm kind of working through my D2 stock, and it's still a solid steel, which has been working well for a really long time. I've also got another one here. The only difference between these two is different pins. This has got Campbell's micarta pins that are brown instead of black, while this one's got the black pins. And that's pretty much it. Also a reminder, the Shokunins, the sale price of that's going to end in 4 days at the end of the month. At the moment they're at 93 Australian dollars. At the end of the month they're going to go up to about 110. So if you want a Shokunin, I suggest jumping on it now before I raise the price. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. This is all going to go up on the website. I've also got axes coming. So this weekend I have my whole batch of Tomahawks. They're getting finished. So if you want a Tomahawk and you didn't get it in on the pre-order, get in on my Facebook group, because those are going to be the first guys to hear about it. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done here guys. Thanks for watching. I think that's under 10 minutes, and I'll see you on the next video.